Can I get the remote? Yeah. Yeah. All right, good morning, well, good afternoon, it's after 12. So it's been 1 hour of talk, so let me start with a riddle to see if your cognitive skills are still working. So a small riddle, there's a traveler somewhere on the globe. He goes 1 kilometer deep south, he turns left, walks 1 kilometer, turns left again. He ended up in the same spot. What color was the bear? Why? Yeah, congratulations, you want yourself a Magento Universe hat. So I do apologize, I don't have hats for everyone this year, I only have 4 left, so it first comes, first served. So go grab it now or grab after my talk. So let's do this thing. We got broken fonts. So sorry, all the fonts on this talk are supposed to be like 8 bits, funny bits. So yeah, we'll have to deal with them and probably everything will be messed up. So yeah, but let's do this. So we fixed the front end, now what? And it kind of feels illegal to say we, because Hyvä created the front end. But I think it's safe to say we, because everybody here builds stores on Hyvä, right? We are saving together the ecosystem, we are saving the front end, we are saving merchants from bad implementations, we are saving them from hells of Luma implementation teams. So let's go here. I'm Jakub Winkler. The lorem ipsum here supposed to be a joke, but some of you don't know me. I see a lot of new faces, which is pretty exciting that there are new faces in our community. So let me tell you a couple words about myself. I'm the founder and CEO and main developer of Colorbar. I like to travel around with my business partner, Ola, to spread the joy of Magento and how great the ecosystem is. I write a lot, actually. So I wrote a book for merchants, it's open source e-commerce uncensored, how not to get screwed by agencies and vendors. This is a book for the merchants if they work on any open source platform. So give them to it and recommend it to them. They will see you care about the open source. And it actually made some people change their minds to get back to the open source and start their Magento projects. I do a lot of stuff, and most of the things here probably you only know Magebox. The rest of them you might see, might not, because I have an ADHD superpower, which means I work on multiple projects at the same time, and I actually work 400 hours a month, but that's for another 4 weeks. And if you know why, then you know why. It's going to change a little. So what this talk is about? It's not about the front end, it's not about Colorbar, it's not about back-end performance, front-end performance, it's not about the cache, it's not about any of the solutions we build at Colorbar, because this is not a marketing talk. I want to talk about us. I wanted to talk about our community. I wanted to talk about what we do next. So, this is kind of, if you were on Hyvä Developers Paradise last year, then it's kind of like a continuance of all the things I said when I wanted to share with the community last year, because I still believe we have not recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm going to explain to you why. And so, I think it's not just about Magento. Every community out there forms sort of a bubble. With all my love to you guys, with all my love to meet Magento events, and I'm excited to see new faces, and I got to admit a little, I was surprised by seeing so many new faces, but every Meet Magento event, everywhere we meet, it's like 70 to 80% of the same people. And I love our community, but it's like we are in this bubble. We talk to each other, we develop things for each other, but we hardly step outside of this community. Things started to change last year when, well, thanks to Hyvä, we got Magento visible on e-commerce stages everywhere, right? We had Web Winkelwagen, the great Hyvä Hypernode booth. We had, if I'm not mistaken, DMX Expo last year, right? So we are moving or trying to pop this bubble, but we are not there yet. It's still there. People are moving outside of it, but we need to pop it. And the best way to pop it is not to wait. Because I spoke about this last year. Everybody waits for others to do the work. And it's time to step up the game. It's time to build stuff. It's time to show support. And this, we want to avoid this. We want to avoid developers moving away or sailing away to green, blue islands and implementing new platforms. We want Magento to thrive. We want to see Magento back. And Sergey already showed you that Magento is bouncing back. So in a couple of the next slides, you're going to see similar things what Sergey said. But my question is the bubble getting smaller? So I was not aware we're going to have so many new faces, so maybe a couple of the slides should have been updated before this talk. But in my opinion, our community is getting smaller. We don't see it, but that's just my personal opinion. We see agencies, some scam agencies doing bad work when it comes to e-commerce development, leaving the ecosystem and getting a little bit smaller. We don't see it, but I personally think, well, looking at attendees at Meet Magento on some of the events worldwide, it's clearly some local communities have shrunk a lot. And I don't want to point whether it's a fault of the organizers or of a specific event in a specific city. It's just gotten smaller. So let's just go browse to these statistics. And again, it's going to be repeating some of the things Sergey said now. So there is a huge disturbance in the force. Magento is bouncing back. And our job as a community is to make sure that it's not just a random bounce back, but it's a power move that we all put our effort, we pull our strength together and push it beyond this 300,000 instances of Magento. I would like to see 500,000 instances of Magento, let's say, in the next 2 years. And if we all work together towards common goal, I still believe this is possible. So, why it's bouncing back? Well, 4 reasons. Obviously, Hyvä. Projects got cheaper, projects got faster, happy developer experience, happy clients, but it's also about Magento being more mature. Every competition that we talk to says that Magento is the most flexible platform, and if you want flexible, customized e-commerce, Magento is always the platform you should pick to. And what else? It turned out that SaaSes suck. The grass is always greener on the other side, so we had immigration from Spryker. We know migrations from Shopware. We know migrations from Shopify. And if you work on a project like that, let everybody know. Write a blog post so everybody can contribute, post it on LinkedIn, share thousands of likes to make this whole thing visible. But also one of the reasons Magento is getting traction, all those scam agencies, which is a term I came up with, it's like agency just joining the e-commerce just to earn money and not care about the ecosystem or the community. They're leaving Magento, and they're scamming people on other platforms. Well, it's business. It's every type of business, I think, have their own scam agencies. So in my personal opinion, we are here. We have happy clients. Projects move faster. First of all, we have happy developers, because everybody likes working with Hyvä, and that's amazing. But we need to work on 2 more things. One is lower cost of ownership, and the second is the platform to be better. And my next part of this talk is going to be about that. So it is not just a random bounce back, but it's a movement that we all participate and that we make sure that grows and grows over time and everybody benefits. So it's going to be like the 80s or 90s bands, like coming together. But in order for the bands to come back, people need to show up. People need to buy the tickets. People need to go to the concerts. And excuse me, it's a little hot on stage. I need to. Seems like I only got the memo that the theme of the conference is 90s and 80s. So let me continue a little more comfortable. So we need to be sure that this is a huge comeback, like all the great rock bands we all know and love. And let's work on this. Because Magento, and again, no offense to anyone, it's still a very old robot with a very old brain. So, yeah. And nostalgia is a canine female. Some of the customers are actually getting back to Magento because they like it the way it was. So they preferred the way Magento, with its bugs, with its issues, compared to like SaaS platforms where the customizations were like very limited, or even to get, and sorry Shopify Plus, to get the consent boxes on the checkout, you need to pay additional fee for SaaS solutions. So yeah, that's not going to work. And yeah, so is it going to be a random backs or a large comeback that we all are a part of? And I've talked to a lot of entrepreneurs lately. I've joined a couple let's say, movements in Poland. Then I discuss how open source should work and with people and how to make it thrive. And based on all the talks I had, I decided that the foundation of the open source needs like a 3 columns, 3 foundations. And you might not like what I'm about to say next, but I believe 2 of those foundations in our e-commerce are a little bit cracked. And it's our jobs to fix them. And hopefully you will join me in this endeavor to make it work. And those foundations are passion, courage, and support. So let's talk about passion, which is number 1. And I'm going to use Willem Wigman as an example. I want to see more people excited, smiling, happy, showing their products, as Willem was on Webwinkel Wagdegen in Netherlands. You could see like sparks in his eyes showing the Hyvä POS system, and that's exciting. And I want to see more people like that. And we have people like that in our community. So if you are passionate about something, if you build products out of passion and pure love for the ecosystem, or just for pure joy of coding, show it to others. And if you're passionate about it, I guarantee you people will follow. And I don't have any doubts we have passion in this community, but I want to see more of it. I want to see people speaking at the conferences, showing their amazing products, showing what they love and what they love about Magento. And let's talk about courage. And why it's a little bit cracked. And that's why I made a joke on WhatsApp that we have Adobe here. And we had the courage as a community to pick on a fight with like one of the biggest giants in the ecosystem. Now, the reasons for the fight were okay, and we all still stand by those reasons. But we all know by now, Adobe was never the enemy, but that's a topic for a whole different conversation. My point is, we were courageous enough to pick on a fight with the freaking giant, with one of the biggest monsters in the industry. And courage is not only picking fights. Courage is also about making maybe unpopular decisions that people might have doubts whether they're okay. Courage is breaking shit. And excuse my language, but I'm getting passionate here, so I might swear sometimes. But courage is breaking shit, building them, replacing them with another amazing solution. So we need more courage, in my opinion, because we kind of stall and rely on a couple extension vendors only to bring forward. And I still believe we have people full of courage in this ecosystem. I want you to build stuff. I want you to break things. Be passionate about things. Be courageous, and don't be afraid of breaking things. Don't be afraid of Adobe. Don't be afraid, basically, to make a change. Because change doesn't happen overnight. It starts with the very first step with some passionate guy or a girl taking the first step, wanted to change the ecosystem. And yeah, let's talk about the third foundation, and it's the support. And why it's cracked. And support can be done in multiple ways. It can be financial support. It can be through contributions. It could be through organizing or attending events. It can be anything that people know you care about the ecosystem, you care about certain individuals, you care about their solutions, you care about what they stand for. Because let's be perfectly honest, and I'll explain to you why this, I believe, support is a little bit cracked. Ask yourself, don't answer, don't shout. When was the last time you individually showed support to our community in any possible way? And I don't want to point fingers, I don't want to say out names, but support in our community a little bit lacks. That's my personal opinion. But if you look at LinkedIn posts, event attendees going down, people not sharing what, for example, Hyvä compatibility module, they just keep it inside, never share it with the community. That sucks. Just let's share it with others, because in the open source, if everybody shares, everybody wins, because the whole cake that we all eat from gets bigger. And if nobody contributes, nobody wins, and this cake is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and people will have to start eating somewhere else. But support goes both ways. So let's say you got support from the community. People riled up behind you. Question is, did you use its support well? Has the trust that was given to you by the community utilized in every possible way that you could have possibly imagined? And that's a question, again, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not casting blame on anyone, I'm just asking questions whether if you get the support from community, certain parts, all of it, certain individuals, did you use it well? So last year, probably most of you remember, I said and ended my talk with don't be a mage-hole, which everybody understands. And yeah, I think I kind of understood that by talking to a lot of people, by reading some stuff about the open source, that in open source there are large groups of people, companies, entities that never share, and that's okay. So I want to change my statement from last year. Well, I still say don't be a mage-hole, but my message to you is don't be invisible. Don't be invisible. Make sure that everything that people that you care, that companies that you care do receive your support. It can be such a small thing as reading an article, liking it, sharing it with somebody else. Send a message on Slack, hey, let's say, Łukasz, I love your forms module that you developed with Alexeon, and it's one of the best open source there is. So yeah, do it like that. Show people that you care. Don't be invisible, because passionate people, they have a certain threshold when they stop caring. And okay, maybe they move to another thing, maybe they build another product, but at some point, everybody has a certain threshold when things start to get hard, and then when things start to get questioned whether I'm doing the right thing. How many minutes do I have? All right. So let's continue. And I'm going to shock you. Well, that's not going to be a shock. There's been plenty of said about it today. We have something amazing, and we have AI. And I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry, Vinay. I absolutely don't agree with you about usage of AI. But there's a single but. And that's not a quote from me. That's a quote from one of the Polish entrepreneurs using AI like for everything. AI multiplies everything that you do. So if you are passionate, if you are a great developer, a senior developer with a great set of skills and knowledge, you'll be 10 times, 20 times better. But, that's a quote, if you produce shitty code, you'll just become a factory full of shit. Sorry, that's what it is. AI multiplies, and it's an amazing tool that anybody can use. Anybody can build great products, and it's basically unlimited power in the right hands. And I want you to use AI. I want you to build amazing products, because the only thing that right now is the limit is our imagination. Imagination, what we can do, what we can build, what we can track. And yeah, if everybody here starts building products with AI, most of them will fail. But that's okay. Because if some of them will catch up, and if one of them will bring attention to the community, then again, everybody wins. Everybody benefits from a single, even 1 out of 100, 200 products built with AI. Everybody wins. So, because the momentum in the ecosystem doesn't come from waiting. It needs action, it needs traction, and it needs people basically creating shit. But there has to be amazing shit. So, excuse my language again. So, I want us to pop the bubble or completely remove it. I want us to step out our comfort zone of our own conferences. And it's going to be a little bit shocking, but I think that the conferences, when we as a community need to be, are much larger ones. It needs to be Webwinkel Wagdegen, DM Expo, Berlin E-commerce Expo, and every country has amazing conferences which brings a lot of people to them. Store owners, entrepreneurs, huge business owners, they need to know that Magento is here, and Magento never, well, it didn't die, it's just getting better and better. It's mature, and it's basically awesome. Because from the outside, and the cap colors represent the logos of all the agencies in the ecosystem. From the outside, some of our events look like this. Right? So we are giving ourselves huge medals, we are patting ourselves in the back, hey, great work. And I'm not saying that our events, Meet Magento events, suck. I love them, I really am happy I can attend any of them, have a great time, talk to all of you. But if we want Magento to grow, if we want our community to grow, it's time to leave the comfort zone and do amazing things together. So let's pop the bubble. Because if we don't pop the bubble, if we only stay in our small community, we are not growing. We are only maintaining or surviving. And I think that some of you might agree with that it was like that for a certain part of time in our community. So let's make sure that Magento is back on tour. So we fixed the front end, right? So now what? Now I want you to be creative. I want you to experiment, build crazy things that you never thought was possible to doing. But it doesn't mean you should vibe code. I'm against vibe coding. I'm in forward for its so-called AI-assisted engineering. If you're an expert, you know what sort of security improvements or security layers your software needs to take. You know what sort of testing you need to introduce. Unit testing, integration testing, end-to-end testing with Playwright, anything you can do. And you know you have to do it because you've been doing this for 10, 12, 15 years. So experiment, be creative, be passionate about, and show people your work. So now we build. Now we contribute, now we support each other, because that's the biggest factor, that's what makes the community grow. Support. It can be financial support, like I mentioned, but any support that you can show to the community will be a huge factor for everybody in the industry. So, we got passion, we got support, we got courage. And I'm going to tell you one thing about what we do at Colorbar. We've built Speed Suite, which is the suite of modules for Magento, which improves it by 80%. We built Trident, but we didn't do it just to vibe code or just to show that we can do it and we can create any product we want with AI. We do it because we want to show you that it takes guts, it takes courage to build amazing products, but it also takes time, because all of those solutions that I mentioned took almost a year to develop. So be courageous, show support to anybody in the industry, and I hope we can change the ecosystem together, because if you want to continue, please contribute to continue this game, unless it's game over, and this is my last slide. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy my talk.